Good evening, guys. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 7 perfumes from Navitus Perfumes. I ordered myself a sample set and I got another complimentary sample set on the side. So just as a disclaimer, I haven't smelled all of the Navitus perfumes. This video is also not in collaboration. I paid for these with my own money and my opinions, as always, are my own. So if you're new here, welcome. My name's Alithia. I would love to have you if you would consider subscribing. And without too much further ado, you guys, let's get into my thoughts on these top 7 perfumes from Navitus. And if you have a favorite perfume from Navitus, leave it down below in the comments. Okay guys, so as you can see here, I'm in my bedroom at my dresser here. I'm still working on my morning coffee. I've got a few perfume sniffing papers and I have a whole bunch of Navitus perfume samples in front of me. So just for full disclosure, none of this was sent to me. None of this is sponsored. I purchased the Discovery set with my own money. And when I purchased the larger Discovery set, I also got a smaller one complimentary with that purchase, but this was purchased with my own money. So I'm not affiliated with Navitus in any way. I don't have any perfumes with them or anything like that. They sent me a few full bottles like 2 years ago and I wasn't really in love with them. And because I never reviewed them, or I don't know if that's why, but then I never heard from them again. Like they didn't reach back out to ever collaborate again. But I told them like I wasn't really in love with them and I didn't want to review the perfumes if I couldn't give them a positive review. Yeah, so that's how it goes sometimes in the perfume world. Sometimes if you are too brutally honest, you lose opportunity, which is okay. I'm okay with that. So yeah, but I did have curiosity because there's been a lot of new perfumes come out, especially collaborations with some perfume reviewers. And I was really curious about some of them. A couple of them kind of caught my eye. I was really curious to see what I would think about them. I think in today's video, I'm going to mention quite a few of the really like more hyped up Navitus collaboration perfumes. I have my thoughts on a few of them, and there are 20 perfume samples here in total. I've chosen 7 out of the entire 20 that are my top favorite, and I'm going to spray them for you, sniff them again here sort of blindly, like I haven't smelled the notes, or I haven't looked at the notes since I first got this set. And I'm just going to tell you what I think about it, what I get from it, and what I like. I would review all of them, but I feel like that would just be a really long video. And to be honest, a lot of them were not my cup of tea. And I think there's more Navitus perfumes than what you see here. I know that there's like some older ones. I think this is more like a new set maybe. I'm not really sure. But without too much further ado, you guys, let's get into spraying. I'm going to go in no particular order. And if you have any questions or you're wondering my thoughts about another particularly hyped up one, definitely leave it down below or write me on Instagram. Okay, so one of the ones that jumped out at me was Baklava Royale. So I don't quite remember what this smelled like. I don't really remember specifically what any of them smelled like today. It's been about a month and a half or so since I've smelled any of these. So it's going to be kind of like experiencing them again for the first time today. So I do really like these Navitus Discovery sets because they give you a pretty good sized sample. Unfortunately, most of it goes to waste because I don't end up liking most of them, and so I don't end up wearing a lot of them. But this is what the sample looks like. They give you a really decent sample. So let's go ahead and give this a spray. Okay, so Baklava Royale. Okay, so I kind of do like this. First of all, it smells sweet. Maybe like there's some oud or some saffron or something in there. And it smells expensive with a little bit of a gourmand twist on it. Maybe I like this better than I thought I did. First of all, I will say that all of the Navitus perfumes are very, very potent. They are very good quality for the money, and you also get potency. Like they're long lasting and they're very strong. When I initially sprayed all of these Navitus perfumes, my office in my house smelled like Navitus for like a good 2 weeks. To the point that it was almost annoying. So they're quite strong and you do get good value for money. So I'm getting, I think there's like saffron in here. There's something quite like potent and airy. I also get a little bit of this sort of baklava, like chocolatey pastry, sweet dessert type of feel in the background. It's quite nice. It smells expensive, and this is something that I would wear for like fall, winter. And it smells quite luxurious, I would say. Like a luxurious baklava. Okay, interesting. So there's no saffron in here. but there is amberwood and there's almond. So maybe those two together. That's really interesting. Is that seriously what the notes are? That's really interesting. I've never looked at the notes. So the notes you have here are bergamot and orange blossom in the opening. So it does have like a, yeah, it does have like a sweet, okay, maybe it's the almond I was smelling, and for some reason I was like interpreting it as saffron. There's pistachio, almond, and honey, and in the base there's Madagascar, vanilla, amberwood, and tonka bean. So now that I'm looking at the notes, I can see that there's pistachio. Yes, I can pick up some pistachio. I honestly thought, like, to me, I smell like saffron and chocolate. It's kind of what I smell in this one. Maybe my nose is broken, but that's like my interpretation. And it also smells spicier than what it says on Fragrantica. I haven't put this on skin, and I feel like if this dried down on skin, it would pull a lot more like feminine and floral than it is on the paper. Yeah, I can tell that there's honey in there now that I'm looking at the notes. But yeah, to me, I totally picked up like a spicy saffron, like oud-y, almost oud, like kind of vibe. And maybe that's just the Navitus DNA, I'm not sure. So that is Baklava Royale. Sorry that I'm not going to go into detail about longevity, sillage, all that kind of stuff. Just know that most of them are quite potent. So yeah, that's actually quite nice. It's quite unique. And I am kind of going more in that niche direction when it comes to my perfume collection. I want something that's a little bit more unique, a little bit more interesting. I feel like Baklava Royale definitely fits that bill, although it is a little foody. I don't know if I would really enjoy wearing it all that much because it does smell a little like food to me. But that is Baklava Royale. Personally, for my taste, I would give this like probably a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. 10 being all-time best smelling perfume ever, like my favorite perfume. 0 being I absolutely hate it, it's repulsive. 5 being totally neutral. So I would give this a 6.5. Yeah, the longer it starts to sit on the paper and dry down, the more I'm understanding the floral components and like the nuttiness, and it's like fresher. In the opening, to me, it's not a floral. Like in the opening, to me, it is not a fresh floral. In the opening, I really get like spicy chocolate, which is really weird. All right, so the next one, you guys, is Caramel Pop. And I just realized that this is not a Navitus perfume. This is a Vivamor fragrance. So I didn't even realize that when I got these discovery sets, that there was two separate houses. So I'm guessing that Vivamor is like under the umbrella of Navitus or a sister company. I'm not really sure. This is Caramel Pop. This one is quite foodie, but this one jumped out at me as being good and yummy, and I liked it. So it was one of my favorites, despite the fact that I might not actually want to wear it because it is quite foodie. I'm just going to read you the notes because I feel like my nose is a little bit off today, and I do still have this cold. So the notes that you have in here is popcorn and bergamot in the opening, which definitely I remember smelling popcorn with this. Caramel, chestnut, and orchid, vanilla absolute, benzoin, and Virginia cedar. Let's go ahead and give it a spray. Okay. Okay, so Caramel Pop, it's like mouth-wateringly delicious. Yeah, it smells so good. It smells good enough to eat. It literally smells like mouth-watering popcorn. I don't get a whole lot of the floral component, like it says that there's orchid in it. It's just a very heavy, like nutty popcorn fragrance. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to say about it than that. It's just like a warm, cozy, like not so much buttered popcorn. I think it's more of a sweet, like vanilla popcorn, not so much a butter popcorn. It does have that kind of orchid and caramel to it, which I really like as a combination in fragrances. Yeah, and quite nutty and quite delicious. So I don't know if this is something I'd want to wear because it is very foodie, but it definitely smells good enough to eat. I think, like, I don't know if it would be something attractive if you were walking around and somebody said, oh, it smells really good in here. Something smells like popcorn. Like, I personally don't think I want to smell like popcorn, but it's also got a good balance of the nuttiness and the vanilla. So it's not like just straight up popcorn. Overall, that is the main vibe that I get, is popcorn and like a sweet, not overly sweet, cozy vanillic nuttiness. It's cozy, it's warm, it's kind of, it reminds me a little bit of, what is it, Livia Belle Intense, but with popcorn added. It's kind of along those lines, or like the nuttiness that's in here is the same nuttiness that's in Zadig and Voltaire, This Is Her. They have that kind of chestnutty nuttiness underneath it, and I believe Livia Belle Intense also had a chestnut note, if I'm not mistaken. So it kind of has that like warm nuttiness, but then overwhelmingly a lot of popcorn as well. So not my cup of tea. Like I wouldn't wear this, but I think it smells absolutely mouth-wateringly beautiful and delicious. So caramel pop, putting aside the fact that I wouldn't wear it, I would give this a 6. I think it smells really, really good, but not something I'm like running to rush out and buy a bottle. Okay, the next one that jumped out to me as being one of the best among the 20 is Choco Exclusive. I believe that this was a collaboration with Gabby. Gabby loves perfumes, I think. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not a huge gourmand chocolatey person. Like I don't want to smell overly chocolatey. This one, if I recall, smelled really good, but not, again, not something I would want to wear. But let's go ahead and give it a spray. I will put the notes on the screen for you. I'm just gonna tell you what I get from it. Choco Exclusive. Yeah, okay. It's really good. It's really good. All right. It smells a little bit like Montal Chocolate Greedy. It has that powdery, chocolatey touch to it. It's not a super bright milk chocolate. It's more of a dark chocolate is what I get from it. I also think I smell some sort of a fruitiness, like maybe some dried fruits or something. Maybe some orange, like the Christmas chocolate orange thing. It's also powdery. You know what? I feel like this might wear a lot better on skin and a lot different on skin. So again, that is a limitation of today's video, is that I haven't put any of these on skin. This is just first impression. Excuse my dog if you can hear him barking. He thinks it's his life's job to guard the house, which it is, but if you hear him barking, that's why. Okay, I want to look at the notes because I never did actually look at the notes, but what I'm getting right now is like Christmas chocolate orange, dark chocolate, powderiness. Interesting. So there's blood orange and Calabrian bergamot. So definitely the blood orange was what I was smelling in here. Dark chocolate, coffee. I never picked up coffee. I don't really get the coffee. There's also Madagascar vanilla, pancake, and maple sap. Did they mean maple syrup or do they actually mean maple sap? Yeah, I don't know. It's really delicious. So I guess the like feminine sweet thing that I was getting in the background might be the combination of the vanilla and the pancake. I could have sworn there was like a floral maybe. I thought maybe there was like a floral touch. So yeah, what is most prominent to my nose is definitely the dark chocolate, the orange, and then I guess probably the vanilla. I don't know. It smells really nice. I don't know if it is one I would want to wear again. It smells almost too foodie for me. It's delicious. Again, it could wear totally differently on skin. It's kind of like an addictive smell. Like I want to keep coming back to it and smelling it. I like it better than the caramel pop, both in terms of the scent, also in terms of like would I wear it as a perfume. It's really, really yummy. So this one I would probably give a solid 7. I like it. After I'm done, you guys, I'm going to go back and re-smell all of them because I want to know, like, would I like this one better than Baklava Royale and stuff like that. So when I'm all done, I'm going to, like, go through and re-sniff all 7 and, like, rank them for you. So my ratings out of 10 could change by the end of the video, but so far I would give Choco Exclusive a solid 7. Okay, guys, so this one is really interesting. This is Splendor Absolu. I don't know if this is a collaboration with somebody or what. If memory serves me, this reminded me of Rosendo Mateo No. 5 and to a lesser extent Baby Cat, but more so Rosendo Mateo No. 5, if memory serves me. And I wasn't the hugest fan of Rosendo Mateo No. 5. I loved Baby Cat, but when I did my huge perfume declutter, Baby Cat did not even end up staying, although sometimes I kind of miss that perfume. But yeah, so anyways, a little bit different though. I'm going to go ahead and spray it. And yeah, then let's just talk about it. So Splendor Absolute. So what I was going to say is I don't know if this is one I would actually want in my collection, but it was something worth commenting on. It was intriguing to me and interesting to me, so I wanted to comment on it. Okay, Splendor Absolu. Yeah, this is really beautiful. Whew. So to me it smells spicy and warm and a little vanillic and really interesting. And it smells to me, yeah, very much like Rosendo No. 5, especially in the opening. It might wear differently on skin, but it really, really strikes me as Mateo number 5, Rosendo number 5. It smells really, really expensive. Is it one I would want to wear? That would remain to be seen. I'd have to put it on my skin. I'd have to actually give it a proper wear. Because sometimes you can love the way something smells, but you don't actually love wearing the perfume. That could very well be the case, but it's very interesting and smells very expensive. So let's look at the notes actually. So the notes in Splendor Absolute are rum, bergamot, and grapefruit, Guatemalan cardamom, driftwood, chocolate, Madagascar vanilla, tonka bean, white musk, and sandalwood. That is interesting. I'm picking, okay, maybe what I'm getting here is the mixture of the rum and the cardamom. It smells like money, and it smells rich, and it smells interesting. And definitely in the opening, I don't know if you guys have tried this, tell me if you got the same thing, but definitely in the opening, I got that little bit of a Rosendo number 5, almost going in the burnt tire direction. Was kind of thinking there would be like incense or something in here, but there isn't, which is really interesting to me. It's funny because all of the notes of these perfumes are actually looking more like toned down than what I expect when I smell the scent. So I don't know if that's like just the Navitus or Vivamor like DNA that's coming through, or if there's notes that are not listed. This is really good. This could be like a fall winter signature scent, like signature for fall winter. It's really good. And this is one I would actually wear because it's not super foodie the way the last two were. I would give this one a solid 7.5 to an 8. It smells really freaking good, you guys. Like sexy, bold, interesting, different, intoxicating. The one thing I should mention, by the way, is if you get a Navitus Discovery set, you do also get coupons, and for like 15, 20, 30% off one or more bottles. Yeah, that one's my favorite so far, actually, which I didn't think I liked it that much. Okay, so the next one is Lost in a Dream, and I didn't realize this at the time, but I was actually chatting with Paulina, and I believe she said this was her collaboration. This one definitely jumped out at me as being like really beautiful, and I really liked it. And this was my first inkling where I was like, ooh, I kind of almost want a full bottle of that. So again, they give you a good sample size so I can actually wear it a little while and see. I don't want to be rash and like jump into a full bottle. I'm not doing that these days anymore. I'm trying to be a little bit more reserved. So let's give Lost in a Dream a spray. I'll tell you what I get from it, and then we'll look at the notes. And I feel like my nose is like a little broken today, but that's okay. So Lost in a Dream, the name Lost in a Dream is perfect. It smells soft, feminine, ethereal, comforting, cozy, a little bit sweet. It kind of is giving me Tartas from Carner Barcelona a little bit vibes, like the Tartas fragrance. I hope I'm saying that right. And it's also like somewhere underneath giving me a little bit of a, not, and I don't mean to sound this like to cheapen the fragrance, but it gives me a little bit of an Ariana Grande. It's almost like Tartas from Carner Barcelona meets an Ariana Grande. So it has that like fluffy, light cloudiness to it. And just like, yeah, super pretty. Really nicely blended. Like it's hard to pick out one note over another, but if I had to guess, I would say like probably almond, vanilla, maybe some lavender, like along those directions. It smells kind of dreamy, which I'm obviously biased by the title. It smells kind of dreamy and very comforting and warm. This is something I would wear on like a rainy day in England to comfort me. And it's just like warm and cozy. It's warm and cozy. So let's look at the notes. So it turns out there's milk in here, which is interesting. I didn't pick up milk to begin with. There's also, okay, so there's milk, cinnamon, bergamot, and orange. I didn't get a ton of the cinnamon. It must have been just really nicely blended. Yeah, I think like this is a more complex fragrance, and maybe that's why I couldn't quite put my finger on what I was smelling. There's also marshmallow, croissant, amberwood, orchid, almond, jasmine, fig, nectar, coffee, vanilla, or sorry, Madagascar vanilla, sandalwood, musk, tonka bean, oak tree, and Toulouse balsam. So what of those notes stands out to me the most? I still don't get a ton of milk, although I can see why they would say it's lactonic, like why it's got milk in it. Marshmallow, yes. Almond, yes, although to me the almond is more pronounced than it's showing in the notes. It's pretty. Vanilla, fig nectar, definitely I can see that there would be a little bit of fig in here for sure. And now that it's taken some time to dry down a little bit, I'm also getting a little bit more woodsiness and even the floral component coming out. It's really beautiful. It's definitely not a linear scent. It changes a lot. And actually, I take back the Ariana Grande thing. It smells a lot more expensive than that. It's so beautiful. It's very feminine. I don't think this would be unisex at all. I don't think I'd want to smell it on my boyfriend whatsoever. This is definitely a feminine scent. It almost, to me, is giving off a tropical vibe, not in a coconutty sense, not in a yellow floral anything. Maybe it's the jasmine that's in there and the fig. There's something about it that is giving me a little bit of like, I'm on a beach vacation finally, which is much needed and very cathartic. And I'm watching the sun go down over the ocean in the evening. It doesn't smell oceanic. It doesn't smell like coconuts. It doesn't smell like sunscreen, nothing like that. But it's like that feeling, you know, white linens, feminine, clean, fresh, cathartic, relaxing. Definitely the Lost in a Dream is absolutely a perfect name for this. And something you could wear every day, like not something you would have to reserve just for winter, just for summer, just for the evening, daytime, whatever. Like, this could very easily be something you could wear every single day. It's absolutely beautiful. So far, you guys, this is the one I'm leaning most toward full bottle. So far, I have to say. It just has everything I like. It's got a bit of a pastry quality to it. It's comforting. Now that I see the word croissant in here, I can pick up a little bit on that like bakeryness a little bit. Just enough of this like substance to it and this expensive, woodsy, floral kind of substance to make it not too fluffy and not too plain. For example, like the Ariana Grande perfumes, the Maud Vanilla and the Maud Pink or whatever, they're nice, but they're not something I would want to wear. They're just a little too like blah for me, sort of. Like, they smell really nice, don't get me wrong, but they're kind of just like, there's not enough there. I need a little bit of depth. I need a little bit of complexity. I need something to make it nuanced, make it interesting. It has an expensive, sexy, like, you could be smelling a Roja, you know, you could be smelling a Montal, you could be smelling a Van Cleef and Arpels. I think I'm also getting a little bit of that white, figgy coconuttiness from Santal Blanc from Van Cleef and Arpels, which is one of my favorite summertime fragrances. So this is beautiful. This is stunning. I would give this like a solid 8.5 out of 10. 10 being favorite perfume ever, 0 being absolutely hate it, and 5 being neutral. So that is Lost in a Dream. So far, the highest contender for a full bottle. All right, the next one that stood out to me is Mahni Cassonade, which I believe is a collaboration with Sharita M, I believe. So this one is one of the more hyped. It's one of the more well-known, I think, among the like collaborations because it's very sweet and foodie and gourmand, and people love that. People love toffee, caramel, vanilla, ice cream. Those kind of fragrances just tend to go viral. So this one got a lot of hype. It is really good, and I see why people like it. So let's smell Mahni Cassonade. Ooh, yeah, it's potent. Do I get rum in here? I feel like there's maybe there's some kind of like an alcohol-y, not alcohol-y, but like a boozy touch, I should say. Okay, you know what this smells like mostly to me is like syrup. It is a syrupy sweet. And when I say syrup, I mean I can actually picture like toffee flavored syrup in a pancake house. I mean, it is over the top sweet. I also get a bit of a boozy quality. I don't know if there is a boozy note in here. I feel like there might have been rum or something. It's delicious. I mean, it's delicious, but I think for me personally, like I can see why people really, really like it. There's also like a bit of a nuttiness or something. I'm getting like a nuttiness in there too. But it really, to me, smells like I'm actually in a Waffle House or a pancake house. Like it's over the top foodie, and I don't like smelling like that. Not that it doesn't smell good, it smells really good, but similar to the Caramel Pop and the Choco Exclusive, like they're good, but they're just almost a little too foodie. I just don't like smelling like that. I want to smell a little bit more perfumey. I want there to be some flowers. I want it to be like balanced. And this to me is just like really over the top sweet. I get like a woodiness in here as well. It's kind of reminding me a little bit of like Whiff of Waffle Cone from Imaginary Authors. I'm getting like a waffle cone, woodsy, toffee, syrupy thing. Let's go ahead and look at the notes. Okay, so in the opening you have vanilla and ice cream, cashmere and bergamot. In the middle you have toffee, brown sugar, and amberwood. And in the base you have vanilla caviar, white, amber, and musk. So no booziness noted, which is interesting because I swore I could smell like rum or something. Definitely, I mean, for me, what comes through the most is the toffee. The toffee, the sugar. There is that amber in there, so maybe that's where I'm getting that woodsiness. There's amber wood. Honestly, you guys, I wanted to comment on it because I know it's super hyped, and it did stick out to me. It stood out to me, I guess, out of the whole kit, but not something I could wear. If you like your super, super sickly sweet, and you have to like toffee as well. Toffee is a very particular kind of scent. If you have ever smelled Jimmy Choo by Jimmy Choo, that perfume, I believe, had toffee, patchouli, and maybe pear, I think. This is the same kind of, I'm going to drop it. This is the same kind of toffee that's in Jimmy Choo. Toffee is just like particular. And I personally I don't mind toffee, but it's not a favorite. But I wonder how this would wear. I feel like this would be a massive compliment getter. I think it just like is overwhelmingly like punches you in the face with sweetness in the beginning. And maybe that's what put me off a little bit, but they did a good job. Like this is a really, I see why people like it. Yeah, I see why people like it. Okay, so I didn't think I liked it as much in the beginning. I would give this one like a solid like 6.5 or 7 for me. I still think I like Lost in a Dream a little bit better because Lost in a Dream smells more like luxurious and perfumey sort of, and it smells more expensive. Whereas this one is definitely a lot more in that actual like foodie direction. So for me, it's just a little bit lower, but still very good. All right, you guys, and you probably could have guessed this one would be on here as well. This one is also one of the more hyped, popular ones from the collaborations from Navitus. This is Ambrosia Imperial. This one, I believe, was a collaboration with AI the Great, if I am not mistaken. Pretty sure it was her. So let's go ahead and give it a spray, tell you what I think, and then I'll tell you the notes. All right, so this one was one of the ones that was like, I'm not gonna lie, this one was like a wow factor for me when I smelled it. It was like, wow, what is that I'm smelling? All right, banana. This is bananas for sure. It's very complex and interesting. It's kind of like a spicy, creamy banana, a little bit fruity. I never in a million years thought I would ever like a banana perfume. I still don't know if I would want to wear it. It's definitely very summertime. It gives me very summertime vibes, but it kind of smells really expensive at the same time. And the banana that's in here is kind of like, it's kissed by like some more like maybe tropical fruits. Like it's almost like a guava banana or a passion fruit banana. It's not your like penicillin when you were a kid banana, if you know what I mean. It's not like a creamy milky banana. It's more like a fruity, like I picture like tropical fruits banana. But then there is also a little bit of a depth to it, a creaminess, a spiciness. It's interesting. It's really interesting. I've never smelled a perfume like this. So the notes that are in here, banana, rum, which I didn't pick up a lot of rum, Davana, Brazilian orange, cinnamon. In the middle, you have amberwood, dates, orchid, and jasmine. And in the base, you have saffron, whipped cream, caramel, vanilla, benzoin, musk. Maybe it's that Brazilian orange that I'm smelling. Something was giving it more of like an orange fruit touch, not just straight up banana. It's so interesting. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I would want to wear it because, again, it's very foodie, very foodie. Like there's caramel, there's whipped cream, there's banana, there's all these foodie touches. But then there is also this kind of like I said, bit of a woodiness. There's a bit of a floral touch. There's a bit of a spiciness in it. So I still don't know how I feel about this one. It's kind of polarizing. I feel like it would be polarizing amongst the general public as well. Banana is a very interesting perfume note, and I'm not sure I would want to wear it myself. I think it's just too sweet for me personally. I don't know if I could wear it, but that being said, I do have the sample, so I might have to just go ahead and put it on one day and just see. I would give this one probably a 6.5, I would say. But yeah, so that is Ambrosia Imperiale. I like it. It's really interesting. It's really good. I still don't know if it's for me, if I would want to wear it. Okay, you guys, so those are the top 7. I tried to kind of arrange them in order from my favorite to my least favorite. These to me are still the ones that jump out to me in the kit as being like my favorite smells. There's so many other ones though, and I feel like maybe I should go back and respray them because maybe something else will jump out at me. My least favorite out of all of them, only because it's so foodie and I don't want to smell like popcorn, is Caramel Pop. It's delicious. Reminds me a little bit of House of Oud, What About Pop. Next up, I put Ambrosia Imperiale. Not because it's inferior to the others. It's really good. It's just kind of polarizing to me, and I don't know that I want to wear a banana. The next one I put is Mahni Cassonade. I wonder if I should put that one higher. I don't know. Mahni Cassonade. So this is the toffee, like vanilla-y ice cream. Yeah, it's so good, but it's still kind of too foodie for me. It is giving me a little bit of Imaginary Authors Whiff of Waffle Cone, which I actually owned at one point. Next up, I put Choco Exclusive. It's good, you guys, but again, it's too foodie for me. I don't think you're noticing a trend. I don't like to wear things that are too foodie. It smells really, really good, but I don't think I could wear it again. For me, it's just a little too gourmand. Too gourmand, but I still like how it smells. So now we get into my top 3. And in my third place, I have Baklava Royale. So now that it's dried down, it doesn't smell as spicy to me. It smells a little bit more kind of cozy, vanilla-y, and even a little floral. Interesting that it's called baklava. Like, it definitely gives a baklava feel. It's really nice. I really like that one. I could see myself wearing that one. It's still pretty foodie, but I could see myself wearing it. It's less, the Baklava Royale is less foodie than all of the other ones. Top 2, you guys, and these are going to be pretty neck and neck because they're very different fragrances. They're completely different, but I like them both a lot. In my number 2 spot, I have Splendor Absolute. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. It's like, yeah, it's giving me Rosendo number 5 for sure. Even though I know that's not what it is, it still gives that. It's expensive. Yeah, I really like it. I think this would be a fall-winter and probably more masculine. This is the most masculine out of any of the, none of the other ones I think are masculine at all. But this one definitely could be unisex, a true unisex for sure. And my last one, or my first one in the number 1 spot, still goes to Lost in a Dream. Yeah, it's bright, it's feminine, it's cozy, it's warm, it's soft, it's fluffy, it's still summertime, but not in a tropical, sunscreeny, beachy way. Warm. It almost smells like, you know when you read about perfumes having solar notes? It smells almost like that. Like warm, almondy, like I always describe solar notes as like a hug on a summer's day. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that like almond that you're going to find in like Michael Kors Wanderlust, just in case you haven't, if you smelled that one. And like I said, just enough of this interesting like depth to it to make it not too fluffy and not too floofy, where it's just like, you know, whatever. Like, I like something that's a little interesting. I don't want something that's kind of fleeting or basic. It's probably the most mass pleasing without being basic, if that makes sense. So I still stand with my rating. I would not switch their places at all. The foodie ones for me that are a little too foodie fall to the bottom, but they still smell incredible, but they still fall to the bottom for me. And then the ones that are a little bit less foodie and more interesting, the ones that are a little bit more leaning spicy, a little bit more floral, a little bit more woodsy, more nuanced, more interesting, those ones go up to the top. You know, it would have been really amazing with the Lost in a Dream if they would have put a little bit of oud in here, just a touch of oud, just a little bit, because it kind of reminds me a little bit of Sweetie Oud from Roja, which I actually used to also have a bottle of. And I'm kind of regretting letting that one go because that one was pretty incredible. But like Sweetie Oud on my skin smelled a little bit scratchy at times, but I loved the pastry oud accord. And because there's pastry in here, there's croissant. A touch of oud would have been really interesting. But I think when it comes to like the Navitus collaborations and stuff, they wanted to make fragrances obviously that would appeal to the masses and to the widest audience possible of a lot of these people who watch the perfume reviewers channels. A lot of those people are younger or younger to middle-aged, and they would want to make something that's not too challenging. Yeah, so that's it. So that is my top 7 from my Navitus Perfumes Discovery Set. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts on them. If you have a favorite Navitus perfume, let me know down below what your favorite is or why, or if you have worn any of these, let me know what your actual wearing experience was like. And yeah, I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts, and that's it.